this is Crystal. So today I'm going to speak to you guys about how I got catfished today. So before I get into the serious situation that I ended up being in, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment. You could comment on the videos which you feel like you want to see me do, or just comment saying hi, or even a smiley face if you don't know what to say. So, and I really greatly appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys so much for supporting and watching my videos. Thank you so much. I love you. It means the world to me. Thank you. So basically the story starts like this, and this is something that I like to share with people, and I decided to share the story because I just wanted to help people who are going through similar situations, or people who haven't gone through a similar situation, to just learn from it so you don't make the same mistake as I did. So basically the story goes like this. Everyone knows that I'm single. Okay, if you don't know, watch my other videos so you know. So I'm single, and my friend was like, Crystal, you have so much qualities, you can't just be single. You got to make sure that you go online and meet one of these guys. You just can't keep staying there like that. And I don't have any issues with online dating. And I've had success in the past. I actually dated someone in the past from online, but I just decided to give it a break, and my friend was like, just go back in the game and try to do it. So I decided to go back in the game, and then all of a sudden my friend was like, make sure when you're trying to talk to the guy, just be open. And she said don't do too much, but just be open, be honest, and then let them, if you're trying to find the right guy, be honest, and just take it from there, but don't give too much because you don't know them. So I'm like, yeah, okay, because it's been a while since I've been online. So as soon as I went online, and this whole situation happened within 2 weeks time frame, I was talking to this guy. He looked like Christian Keys from back in the day, and I'll insert a picture of what the guy looks like. He looks like Christian Keys' brother, like younger brother, back in the day when he had the hair, and he was dark, like he tanned, and he just had 6 packs. Now, mind you, I've dated all kinds of sizes with guys. I'm not like, picky. I've even dated guys that are as big as, like, they look kind of like Biggie Smalls' little brother. So I'm not really picky. I go for more, looks are good, but I go for more like personality and how you are. Do you treat me good, like stuff like that. So that's just my preference. But this time around, he actually liked one of my pictures, and then he started talking to me, chatting with me. He's like, I'd love to get to know you, and this and this and that. And I was like, okay. And then we just started chatting, and then all of a sudden he was like, what's your number? You're just so interesting. What's your number? I gotta get to know you more, and this and this and that, because we have a lot in common. So and this was the first week. We have a lot in common. So I was like, okay. So then after like feeling a little comfortable but not comfortable enough, I was like, okay. So I gave him my number, and then he started texting me, and he was like, yeah, this is my real number. And I was like, okay, before I gave him my number, I was like, I want to make sure you'll be able to video chat with me, because I don't play that. I've watched Catfish with people who, they put fake pictures and all that stuff. So I don't want to be one of those people. So I told him, I was like, yeah, I'd like to FaceTime with you. He's like, sure, no problem. I'll be happy to FaceTime with you. It's no issue at all. You know, I'm just so interested in you and this and that. So I was like, okay. And that's one of the main reasons why I gave the number, because I was like, okay, this, like, I'm talking to a real person, so at least he's confident just doing that. Like, if he would have said no, then I would have been like, okay, that's kind of weird. So then he after exchanging numbers, we started chatting and this and this and that, like just chatting, getting to know each other. Then it got a tiny bit strange the next day. Like, he would I don't have issues with someone like texting long messages, but it was like a book. Like, it would be like, good morning, and it's like, which is sweet, but it would be like a whole book. Like, and I'd be like, dang, like, you know, you don't really know me like that, you like tell me everything. So I was like, okay, maybe he feels comfortable telling me everything. And so I was like, okay, fine. Then it was just like the long, extra long text messages. So I was like, okay, this is a bit weird. So I just overlooked it, because I'm like, okay, maybe he's just comfortable, like I said. So then he just seemed perfect, and I was like, no, this is cool. Like, he's a great guy, and I'd love to get to know him. And you know, I was just talking to him the first week, and then my friend who tells me go on the dating app and just try to talk to him and this you know, get to know him. And she asked me, she's like, how's everything going? I'm like, everything's going great, he's good, and this and this. And like, he seems like the guy, like someone I would like to you know, get to know and end up dating. So we started chatting, and then all of a sudden I was like, this guy he's like perfect. Now, there's no perfect human being. I was like, he's perfect. He's a little too perfect for the first week, because he started saying, you know, I'll take care of you. After we exchanged numbers, the second day, he was like, I'll take care of you. I love to get to know you more. Then he said he got 4 cars. I don't like guys who brag, but I was like, okay, whatever, you know, I'm not trying to put you down. If that's what you like to do, then, but I was like, in the back of my mind, like, why you gotta brag, like, to try to impress me? Just be yourself. So then he's like, yeah, I got 4 cars, and you know, I got my place, it's paid in full. You don't gotta worry about nothing, like everything is paid in full. So he's like, yeah, I got money. And I was like, you know, I never asked him like if you got money and all that stuff, because he was just, I guess he was trying to think like, you know, all females are the same, they're just for money and that's it. Like, money is good, but I want to know how you are too, you know, how you treat people, and you know, what do you bring to the table? So because he was asking me what I bring to the table, and I told him, and he was like, oh my god, I'm so impressed, I'm surprised you're not wifed up. So then I was like, then he was like, oh, okay, like let me try to just tell you about my background and this and it. Like, he seemed perfect, a little too perfect. But I was like, you know what, maybe it's just God's will, and let me not judge and just overthink it. So I started praying and meditating, and the prayers that I said, and this works, and I highly recommend this to everyone. I said, Lord Jesus, take more of me, give me more of you, remove evil doers away from me, expose them. And I was just praying about that. Take more of me, give me more of you, remove evil doers, remove sin and sinful desires away from me. Like, I was just praying about it, meditating. I'm not perfect, I'm still a work in progress, but I was just praying about it. And all of a sudden, like, God will show you and expose people that you least expect for them to be exposed. So I was just like praying about it. I was just excited. I was like, yeah, you know, finally I get to see and communicate with someone that I'm interested in. So long story short, as soon as I started meditating, praying, I went from on a scale to 1, from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. I was like, I started feeling like, I don't like this guy anymore. Mind you, I was just like all excited and happy about everything, and but then as soon as I started meditating, all of a sudden it was like my whole demeanor about him, like my whole feeling about him, my gut feeling, it just went down about him. I was like, it went all the way to 0, from 10 to 0. I've never had that experience before after meditating. So I was like looking at myself, I'm like, why don't I like this guy? You know, this is someone that I had so much interest. Like, I was so interested in him. He was interested in me. You know, he was like, I was like, the first time I saw his pictures, I was like, you know, those people that they're just so fine. Like, I was like, damn, like, Jesus Christ. I was like, Jesus, thank you. I don't have my thank you. Naija babe, don't get that more. Chineke, which means Jesus Christ. So I was like, Chineke, Naija babe, don't get them, finally. So I was like, from all the way from 10 to 0. So I was like, and the communication, he was still communicating, and you know, everything was just the way it was. But it was just like, from meditating, it went all the way from 10 to, all the way from 10 to 0 of not liking this guy. I didn't know why I didn't like this guy. I was just meditating and it dropped. Why don't I like this guy? So then I told my friend, I was like, yeah, you know, I met this guy. And by the way, my friend is a criminal investigator, and in real life, like, that's her job, and she does that for real. So she was like, how's dating going? And this, I was like, yeah, tell her about the guy that I'm talking to. I told her, I was like, yeah, I'm still, at first I was excited, and then all of a sudden I just dropped to 0. And she was like, what, you're crazy? I was like, and then she was like, girl, he must be ugly as heck. That's all. I was like, no, he's not ugly. She was like, let me see, I know he must have been, like, showed you a picture or a video of this, like, you must have been ugly. So then I showed him a picture. She was like, girl, damn. She's like, girl, you crazy, you need glasses. So I was like, girl, I feel something is not right. I was like, I feel in my gut something's not right. Like, this person, he's perfect, he's texting, like, he seemed great and everything. And mind you, he was talking about marriage the first week. And, you know, I didn't even mention marriage. He was like, I want to marry you, and I want to have babies with you the first week. And that was actually 3 days of texting. I want to have a baby with you. I want to get married. And I was like, okay, no, interesting. He's a little too fast for my pace, but interesting, okay. But then red flag was then I told my friend about it. She was like, you know what, I'll investigate for you. Do you want me to do it? I was like, at first I was like, no, you know, I don't want to just like investigate someone. And she was like, but girl, you feel weird about him. Is he okay? Like, if he told you his age and, you know, where he lives in, and if you still have a gut feeling like something's not right, I could help you out for extra protection if you feel like it's not right, because he seemed a little too fast for me. Like, I mean, he seemed perfect, but it was just like, it was perfect, but you know, when you have that gut feeling. And I was like, after prayers though, meditating, because before when I was meditating, I was like, oh, perfect, yeah, this and that. But after, when I started praying, meditating, he's just, it's like, it's dropping. There's no interest. I didn't know why. I just, like, something was like, my spirit was like, something is not right with this person. So I started, long story short, I started my friend investigated. She's like, she'd get back with me. And so I was like, okay. So I started chatting with this guy more. Then he was like, yeah, by the way, and this is the second week. So he's like, yeah, by the way, you know, I have everything paid for. I have, like, I could take care of you, girl, and this being super sweet. And I was like, dang, this guy's like, he's perfect. Why don't I like him? Is something wrong with me? Is it because I haven't dated for a while? Why don't I like this guy? And then, like, as he started saying, he went from saying, oh, he went from saying, oh, he was like, he's Virgin Island. So I was like, oh wow, that's cool. That's a cool mix. And after saying that, he texted me. No, before he said he was Virgin Island, he texted me. He was like, I was like, so where are you from? And he asked me where am I from. I told him, and then and I'm Nigerian, by the way, if you guys don't know. So he texts. I told him, where are you from? He was like, oh, I'm he said, oh, I'm no, he said, oh, I'm Indian. So I was like, oh, okay. Like, you know, the picture didn't look Indian at all. It looked exactly like Christian Keys back in the day. And, you know, he's just like, he's a handsome guy now, but back then it's like, oh my God. So then I was like, oh, okay. So after he texted that, we said good night or whatever, and then he texted me the next day, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I love Indian food. I love all cultures. Then he's like, then he said, I was like, I love Indian food. I love all cultures. He's like, I'm not no damn Indian. I'm not Indian. Like, I don't want to be with those breed. I was like, dang, this guy's racist. I was like, you just told me you're Indian. He's like, no, I didn't. So then I was like, I screenshot the text message and I sent it to him. And he's like, that's why, you know, I'm just so fond of you because you remember stuff. But yeah, I'm not Indian. And I was like, okay, that was red flag number one. Like, you just told me you're from a different country and then you changed it, you switched it all the way and kind of said, you know, stuff about them that you're not from that breed. Like, what's that supposed to mean? Like, you know. So then the next red flag was basically he went from saying he had his own house, everything paid for cars and all that stuff, to saying that, oh, I live in a trailer. Ha, Papa God, Chineke. I said, what? I started saying, I was like, am I texting the same person? Like, am I texting the same person? He's like, yeah, I live in a trailer, like, and I don't have no house, you know. And I was like, but you just told me you had a house. Like, what's going on? So I'm not the type to judge. I'm not the type to judge in, like, you know, people's situation, because people go through stuff, and, you know, people are not rich, you know, so you don't know people's tomorrow. So I was like, okay, you know, whatever we could do, because you still seem sweet, but my mind, in the back of my mind, still meditating. I'm like, I don't like this guy. I don't know why, but I don't like him. But and as he kept still being sweet, so I'm like thinking I'm talking to like two different people because you're switching. So then the next moment he came, and he was just like, the next day he came, he was just like, oh, by the way, I was wondering if I told him that same day. I said, I want to FaceTime with you because it started getting very weird. So then he was like, yeah, sure, I'm gonna FaceTime. All of a sudden he switched. He was like, oh, it's raining, let me go outside real quick, and because it's raining and I don't have no service, and you know. So I was like, okay. So then my friend texted me and found out that she texted me the information about the guy. She's like, yeah, definitely I would leave the guy because he's like, she told me, she was like, he's in his 50s, first of all, 54-year-old, and then second of all, she said he's 54-year-old, and then second of all, she said then he basically doesn't even live where he told me he lived. And I was like, wow, because my gut feeling, it was prayers, basically meditating. It was God. That's why it's good to pray and meditate, because if I hadn't meditated and then all of a sudden my feelings went down, like I would have probably been like, what the heck, like probably been extremely disturbed. But because the prayers, like I calmed down. I was like, yeah, this just gotta be the devil. So then he reaches out to me because I didn't confront him. I was like, yeah, so where's the FaceTime? Because I was saying FaceTime before my friend told me the results. So I was like, where's the I want to FaceTime with you. He's like, oh dang, he was like, all of a sudden, oh dang, I mean, my phone is working right now, but it's not. He's like, my phone is working right now, but can I wait till like a week to FaceTime with you? This is someone who said, yeah, I could FaceTime right away. Can I wait a week to FaceTime with you? And I was like, a week? It's just today. Like, we agreed on today. Why wait a week? And he was like, I could send you pictures. What kind of pictures would you like? Would you like a picture of me turning right, left, right again? I'm like, this fool must think that I'm trying to ask him how to cross the road to look right, left, and right, left again. Fool, show me your FaceTime. Let me see what you look like. So he was like, oh, he was just giving excuses about FaceTime. I can't FaceTime. Why can't you wait like a week? I could just do. I was like, at this point, I was like, you know what? I'm not even interested in you. I blocked, deleted. I told him I'm not interested in you. I don't want anything to do with you. And I told him, I said, if you try to find me anyhow, any way that you can, I promise you I will get the authorities. Because I know, I told him straight up that time before I deleted before I disconnected from him. I told him, I was like, first of all, you're 4-year-old. I told him his real name because my friend told me about it and where he lived. And I told him, don't even play with me because I will get the authorities involved. And I know people who already know you, so don't play. And I just blocked him, deleted him. And my friend was like, she's gonna take it to the authorities. And I was like, you know what, at this point, just do what you gotta do, because you can't be playing with people about that. Because first of all, what if he would have found out exactly where I lived, and got caught up with me, or something bad would have happened. So the moral of the story is, number one, be prayed up. Number two, look for resources. Just don't be like, oh, you're just fine, let me just try to see how you are, and I believe your pictures. No, FaceTime. And if you have friends who could be able to research, or you could research very well. Research well, low. Don't play with them. Research it. So research, do your research, and God will make a way for you. Just because you don't have no one now, don't mean that your future may not be better than people who look at you and feel like you're never gonna get no one. You never know what your tomorrow will be. And I'm just being positive about it. I believe God will make a way. I'm not desperate, and I know that when the right one comes, it'll just come smoothly with no weird crazy issues. So that's all I wanted to say. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment. Click on the description link for your journey to happiness. I love you all. Later.